Hello and welcome back to Rogue Trader. Last time we found out that we were an heir to the Rogue Trader dynasty, but not necessarily the heir. We have to prove ourselves to Theodora, and right now Theodora has asked us to go and follow her commander, who has just fought off all of these troops, who came and attacked us, these heretics. So, let's go follow them and, well, see what we need to do next. So, heading up here. Oh, shooting at somebody? Heretics. Good. Carry on. Right. And we'll head up this way. Hello. Conrad Voigtver lets out a sigh of relief upon seeing you. Thank Providence you are alive and well. Always on time, eh, Conrad? The moment we finish chasing the riffraff around the deck, you show up. Always just after the fighting's done. You could set your chrono by it. Conrad pointedly looks away from the arch-militant to you. Mort, pull yourself together. The arch-militant looks back at you. What? Did the Lord Captain send you to chivvy us along? We're all done here. I'll report right away. Mort pulls his vox from the belt and hurriedly reports on the situation. Oh, hello. Master of Whisperers, what is happening on my ship? The Voxnet is silent, the Vox Master is not responding. Armed assailants have stormed the officer's deck, and my arch-militant just destroyed several more heretics on the way here. Is this a severe case of warp madness? Have some of my crew lost their minds and forgotten who they are and whom they serve? Report. I have not yet received word from the Enginarium regarding any Geller field failures. But communications were already unstable half an hour ago, and now they have ceased altogether. Whatever the cause may be, the consequences are spreading fast. I am receiving scattered reports from the middle decks, and only the Vox casts from the lower bays are one-way heretical gibberish. Voigtver pauses. That the madmen have already reached the officer's deck suggests that this outrage was planned in advance. Perhaps this is an organized mutiny. Okay. Well, mutiny, but who would attempt a mutiny here in the warp? Lunatics, fools, heretics. The ship houses thousands upon thousands of people. Pernicious thoughts and warp-induced delusions have tainted any one of them, or could have tainted any one of them. It is a difficult notion to accept, but such risks are inescapable. First, we have to confirm that the bridge and the navigator's sanctum are secure. I have the means to do both things at once. Her expression changes as her eyes flash ominously. Theodora looks at Voigtver. Edelthrad, where is he? I must know if he is unharmed. A psyker aboard a ship that is potentially being assailed by the warp could pose a greater threat to himself and others than a whole army of madmen with improvised weapons. I tried to locate him, but last thing known about his movements is that he arrived on transitional deck 18. Blast it. Master of Whispers, find Edelthrad immediately. Seneschal, locate Class and the Sister of Battle. Both are to remain at my side. Arch-militant, with me. I must go to my study, and it appears that we may encounter heretics along the way. Malachi? Theodora glances at you thoughtfully. If I may, Lord Captain. Voigtver's voice is soft and cautious. Transitional Deck 18 is at the heart of the disturbance, and if our goal is to bring Edelthrad back, I could use some support. After all, I am not as adept at directly confronting enemies of the house as the esteemed arch-militant, and taking into consideration Edelthrad's psyker powers. Oh. They're off. Then it's settled. Malachi, find Aethelthrad and bring him here, in whatever state you find him. This elevator, she points at the massive doors, leads to the restricted compartments such as my personal chambers in the bridge. Do not let me down. I require you both. Do you understand? In whatever state? What does that mean? Conrad coughs. We are in the warp. Considering the attack, there could be a disruption in the Geller field and the infiltration of malevolent forces onto the decks. Psychers can react to such things in the most unpredictable ways. Enough. Master of Whispers, you must not allow my heir to turn into a mindless mutant and to perish under enforcer fire. Do whatever it takes to bring Aethelthrad back to me. I shall do everything in my power. Theodora hisses in fury. Not everything in your power. You will do as I say. I'll have your heads if you fail. Is that clear? Then move out. Mort, come. Alright then. That's us told, isn't it? Well, it's just you and me. Oh, and we're off. Voigtford gives you a nod. Are you ready to head to 18? It's a long walk, and you do not even have proper gear. Okay. Well, I shall make do. Lead the way. Of course you will. He rummages in his pocket for something. Lady Theodora would never have someone she couldn't rely on as one of her heirs, but that is no longer relevant. With a pop and a sharp crackle, something hits you in the abdomen, and you are consumed by unbearable, gut-wrenching pain. Well, that's definitely not good for us. I promised you a special destiny, Malachi. It is time to fulfill it. And now we're going to the upper decks, as we have been inevitably betrayed by the Master of Whispers. To be fair, it is a little bit asking for it if you make your Master of Whispers, the person in charge of your spy networks, like your former heir who has done something to stop themselves ever achieving the title of Rogue Trader. It's basically just saying, like, you know, you hate me for a reason. Let's give you all the tools and resources in order to betray me. It just kind of makes sense, doesn't it? That you would not do that. But that is what Theodora did. Maybe she thought nobody would, like, you know, act on any ill intentions.
Careful, careful. Be gentle with our guest. He has an important mission to complete during our visit to the warrant chamber. And for that, I need him breathing. Oh, you are back with us, I see. Delightful.
Warrant of Trade, the sacred relic document that affirms the preeminent rights of a rogue trader throughout the galaxy. Void for you two-faced scum, you're the one behind this mayhem.
How perceptive of you. I'll help you with the next insight. I need you here for your blood. You have the option to share it voluntarily, or I will squeeze it out of you myself. We are in the anteroom of the warrant chamber, this voidship's most hallowed vault. There, beyond those gates, lies the relic that gives Theodora all of her power. The sacred warrant of trade. Only one obstacle remains on my path to obtaining it. The gates of the chamber are guarded by the sentinel, an ancient device that will only open the door to a true heir of the dynasty. I expected to do this part myself, but never mind. You will offer your blood to the sentinel.
I think we continue being combative. What is it, inbred? Is your blood too thin for the sentinel?
On the contrary. The warp's blessing has raised me too much above your kind, Fon Valencius. The Sentinel refused to submit to me. But you can help. After all, isn't that what family is for?
Ooh, we succeeded on a check for coercion. How difficult was it? 85. Okay, so it was possible to fail, but not super possible. Let's see what we got here. What sorry pathetic excuse do you even have for your apostasy, you sordid wretched piece of rock shit? Oh, we're definitely saying that.
Wretched? What do you know about wretchedness, Theodorus Kerr? Are you hoping to buy a grain of her indulgence with your blind loyalty? Oh, I know this delusion. But thank the gods it no longer has power over me. Humanity can rot. I no longer serve mortal kind.
Something, either your tone or the venomous words, throws Kunrad off for a moment as hateful fury blazes from beneath the mask of a cold professional.
Once my work is done, I'll make that pompous wench Von Valencius watch as I sacrifice her entire dynasty and commit their fate to the gods. And you will be the instrument by which I will accomplish this righteous act.
Voigtver hesitates for a second and then produces a strange weapon, a blade without a handle that shimmers blue in the light. The blade flashes in the dim light and drops of blood appear on your palm. For a brief moment you feel nauseous, your head is spinning, and then quiet whispers begin to flood your mind. More and more sourceless voices echo each other, drowning out your own thoughts, replacing them with a singular urge. Go to the gate. Go to the gate. Go to the gate. Skill test in dialogue. One of the available dialogue options requires making a skill test. Unlike with passive tests which are made automatically, in this case you'll need to decide whether or not to select the option. Okay, cool. That seems fine. Number after the skill test name indicates the difficulty of the test. Got it. Although I don't actually see a skill test in this list, so I'm not entirely sure what we're looking at here. I'm going to guess it's this one. Maybe I have that turned off, maybe that's a difficulty thing. Anyway. Let's say, get out, I am not your puppet. Definitely, that's what we're going to do. The voices in your head giggle and mock your desperate outcry. You feel this intruding influence forcing you onto your feet and making you take a step towards the gates looming in the center of the chamber. Well, whether we want to or not, we're helping. In the gateway arch, you see a cogitator with a human likeness built into the front panel. As you approach, the torso twitches slightly. This is a servitor, an obedient automaton created from a lobotomized human being. The sentinel turns its head to you, one of its eye sockets lighting up with two ember-like irises. So we can try and use our tech use in order to examine the device, look back, look for anything that could be used as a weapon. I guess we'll tech use it. Yeah, definitely. You carefully inspect the design of the gate cogitator. What immediately catches your eye is the strange alloy that was used as material for the machine's components, some of which are unfamiliar to you. You suspect this might be some kind of archaeotech relic, an incredibly rare and powerful piece of technology from humanity's ancient past. The servitor on the gate begins to move. With the screeching and groaning of metal, it leans forward closer to you. Its lower jaw opens with a drawn-out shriek, much wider than the jaw of a living human could. The servitor's mouth is filled with sharp metallic fangs that glint in the dim light. The vid screen to the right of you lights up, showing strings of mysterious symbols on a green background. A whisper runs through your consciousness, insisting, demanding sacrifice. The voices that filled your head after Voigtver wounded you with his blade did not go away. On the contrary, their source coiled itself into a tight knot somewhere in the depths of your mind. Okay, examine the sentinel. The servitor looks noticeably different from the ones you are used to. Its skin covering is stitched together with copper thread, and it has metal hinges in the place of the standard joint. It seems that the creators of the Sentinel did everything to ensure that the service life of this unit would be much longer than that of ordinary automatons. Let's look back.
Did you forget something? I suggest you hurry.
Look for anything that could be used as a weapon? You look around in hopes of finding at least something that could work as a weapon. Your search is in vain. The chamber anteroom is completely empty and in perfect working condition. Nary a broken panel nor a protruding piece of rebar in sight. Well, we only have one option. I'm going to place my hand into the sentinel's maw. The sentinel's jaws clamp around your hand, puncturing your skin and sinking into your flesh. A few dark drops fall into the servitor's throat, and immediately you hear humming as the servo motors start up and the pumps stir into motion. The vid screen of the cogitator flickers. Several long minutes pass. The sentinel's jaws remain closed and you're beginning to feel sick. Perhaps if you were to lean against the gate you could catch your breath. Maybe even close your eyes and pretend none of this had ever happened.
High levels of caustic humors. The subject is in a state of heightened stress. Do you require assistance?
You do not understand where this quiet voice is coming from, crackling like static. Is it the sentinel? The cogitator? Is it a figment of your weary mind? Whichever it is, you can clearly hear every word. Who is this?
Genetic code identified. Child of House von Valancius. Do you require assistance?
You hear the voice again, and this time you realize it is coming from the two speakers built into the sentinel's shoulders. You hear a displeased grunt in your mind, as if the lurking entity has sensed something that is not to its liking. Yes, Sentinel. Traitors threaten my life and the safety of the warrant. Pain shoots through your head and subsides just as quickly. It would seem the entity coiled in your consciousness does not have the ability to do you any real harm.
Request accepted. Initiating defense protocol.
Well, that'll work for me. As long as they don't shoot us. Oh!
Well, there is still another way.
Check the warrant chamber. But, like, what if there's loot out here? Okay, I'll check the warrant chamber. What have we got? The enormous gates match the importance of the thing they protect. The massive doors are made of heavy metal and look impregnable. Okay.
I always have a backup plan.
Let's just see what else we got in here. Doesn't appear to be anything apart from the warrant itself, which is, of course, absolutely massive. Okay. Let it be known that by my will and the true words of this document, I appoint this person to be the paragon of humanity, unbroken by adversity, to walk bravely first into darkness, to unite, to triumph over nightmares untold, to hold boldly the reins of fate, and to walk steadily the road of thorns through pain to greatness. I was not reading that quickly enough. Okay.
Escort the child of the house to safety.
The servo skull's creaking gradually turns into comprehensible words. I need a weapon. I'm utterly defenseless.
Distance from the current location to the nearest arsenal. Initiating situational calculations.
The servo skull goes silent, its relays clicking. Second after second passes, and you realize that the servo skull will not answer you. I need to contact someone, preferably Theodora.
Voxcast frequencies disrupted. Initiating setup. Establishing connection.
In place of the mechanical screeching, the servo skull's vox projects the voice of Theodora von Valancius, distorted and ridden with static, yet still recognizable beyond a doubt. Voxmaster, restore communication with the Navigator's Sanctum. I'm trying to contact the bridge. If anyone can hear me on this frequency, regroup all available forces and head to the upper decks at once. I repeat, regroup all available forces and head...
Communication protocols breached. Signal latency assessment unavailable. Unable to establish two-way connection.
What madness is happening here? Who are you? Who addresses me?
Temporary obnubilation following acute stress. Mobile unit of the Warrant Sentinel Standing by.
Can I have a highlight for obnubilation? That might be the first time I've ever heard that word. Are you the warrant sentinel?
Mobile unit of the warrant sentinel, designed as a personal escort of the child of the house and a means of communicating with the rogue trader's subjects. Mobile unit standing by.
Lead me away from here.
Middle and upper decks. Assuming the probability of safe placement in areas of concentration of armed units. Calculating. To prevent unauthorized units from breaching the warrant chamber, preemptive sealing must be initiated. The mobile unit will start executing the received order immediately after the safety of the warrant is secured.
Okay. Journal. As the game's story unfolds, you will see notifications at the top of the screen indicating the status of your current objective has been updated and that new information has been added to your journal. Cool. Can I read what this says, but like maybe in a little bit of a camera way? Okay. Guess not, because you can't see it down here. Oh, is that just gonna go? Is it dialogue I'm looking for? Events, all? Okay, I guess this is not going to let me see it without... Okay, let's try this again, but slower. Let it be known that by my will and by the true words of this document, I appoint this person to be I'm gonna need a little bit more than that. To be a paragon of humanity, unbroken by adversity, to walk bravely first into darkness, to... Okay, I think we got what it's saying. This is way too quick. I don't know, I'm fairly fast at reading, but yes. Okay. We will come back to that later, I think. Or we will find out what it says later.
Top.
Was this on us here?
Left in the dust.
We have an old injury. An injury that wasn't healed in time. It can be healed with a medikit, but it requires passing a Medicae skill test in order to succeed. Too many injuries reduce the character's resolve and cause traumas. Okay, cool. Right.
I always keep my
Moving
options
forwards,
open.
I can do something with this. I can seal the warrant chamber. That sounds like a good idea. I will seal the warrant chamber. Nice.
Master, whatever are you doing in the warrant chamber? How did you... Throne preserve me, what is the meaning of this?
Seneschal Abelard Wersarian has lost some of his former polish. His forehead is sweating, and one of the sleeves of his coat is torn and soaked through with blood. Nonetheless, despite his heavy breathing, he stands firm and his gaze is demanding, albeit somewhat surprised. He surveys the carnage around him, his brow furrows, and he places a hand on his weapon. How did you find me? Are you with that traitor Voitfer?
Master, with all due respect, what nonsense are you saying? Kunrad, a traitor?
Abelard stares at you as if a toad had just jumped out of your mouth. Okay. Well, unquestionably.
Saints' blood! And it is small wonder that the heretics are so well organized. I thought his order to seal the passages between decks was his attempt to stop the attackers from spreading to other levels. But now I see the real reason. It was to stop the enforcers from intervening. At least you are alive, and now safe, Master. Alas, I doubt we can afford to look for a compartment to sit out this disaster. You're in a bad way. I can treat your wounds. I have a Medicaid kit with me. And, for the love of the throne, now is not a good time to be walking around the decks without means of self-defense. Here.
He hands you a weapon. So he's given us a sniper rifle. Okay. Not quite what I expected we might be using. Armored body glove, and there's the medikit. Treating injuries. While fighting, your character can lose some of their wounds. Your character has suffered an injury after being attacked by Kunrad. This happens when a character receives damage that exceeds 50% of their maximum wounds within one round. Which is the actual amount for us because we're playing on the amount where this lines up. Injuries reduce the character's resolve. When a character initially suffers an injury, it's considered a fresh injury during the first 3 rounds. Once 3 rounds have passed, a fresh injury becomes an old injury. A fresh injury can be healed using a medikit without passing any skill tests. Old injuries can be healed with a medikit, but they require a character administering the treatment to pass a medikit skill test to succeed. Use medikits to restore wounds and heal injuries. Note that when a character loses all their wounds, they fall unconscious. Okay, character can no longer participate in combat, nor can they be resuscitated by any means. They will regain consciousness after the battle and receive a trauma, which can be healed by resting on the ship or in other places suitable for rest. What is a trauma? A character who has received 3 or more injuries does not heal them in time with a medikit. The injuries will become traumas. The number of injuries that cause traumas will be 3 because it's on we're on the difficulty where everything lines up. Traumas reduce a character's resolve and also inflict an additional negative effect, which depends on the specifics of the particular trauma. Traumas can only be removed and fully healed on the rogue trader's private quarters on the voidship. Okay. Next. Medikits. Once the combat is over, the wounds of all party members are replenished automatically, but any injuries they may have sustained remained. Those can be healed with a medikit. Medikits can only be used by characters who have the field medic feature, base skill medikit, who have taken medikit skill advancement at least once. Whenever a character uses a medikit in battle, a medikit skill test determines the number of wounds that will be restored as a result. Abelard can heal your character's injury. Cool, and we also have items in our inventory, which is of course what I want to check out first. So we have a sniper rifle. Sniper rifles aren't actually going to be our thing. We're actually angling eventually to switch into some melee stuff, but for right now, it's what we got, so we'll take it. We also got this body glove. So the character wearing this armor will dodge 40% of average enemy attacks in this chapter. The armor reduces the incoming damage of average enemy attacks in this chapter by -10. That's kind of interesting that it says in this chapter. Okay, so it gives you like a... I was just trying to see if there was a way to look at this more detail. There is. Can I see how this calculates it? No. But we got 15% armor, and that's saying that we'll dodge 40%. I'm just wondering how it's working this out. That's okay, I'm sure we can work this out later. But it's an interesting way of doing it. It's saying like the average in the chapter will be about this, so that's what it does. So instead of you having to do the calculations yourself, it kind of works out some stuff for you. So can I see armor in here? I can. Okay. Armor is one of the parameters that reduces incoming damage. It shows the percentage of damage that is reduced by the character's armor and is deducted after the character's deflection every time the character is hit. So let's just equip this and have a look. So it puts us up to 15%. It doesn't say anything else. I'm just checking that no other value changes. No. Okay. So let's go in here and have a little look here, because this is going to be useful to know. It shows the percentage of damage that is reduced by the character's armor and is deducted after damage deflection every time a character is hit. So this is just 15% off after damage deflection, right? I think that's what it's saying. So what this is saying is basically we have deflection, which is this one. So that's damage deducted. So that's a flat value. So it'd be like if we're being hit for 100, let's just say, if we had a deflection of 0, 0 would come off. We have 15% armor. We would then take 85 damage because we've taken 15% off of that, if that makes sense. If we then, trying to think of a better number, if we had 50 deflection, say, it's probably too high, but let's say we had 50, that means that 50 would be coming in at us, so we would then take 40, no, my math, yep, this is why you don't do it live. Take 43.5 damage off of that then. Okay, that makes a level of sense, hopefully. Basically, we'll take 15, it takes off this number as a flat value, then it takes off a percentage. That's basically all that's saying. So what does it mean by character wearing this armor will dodge, but like, I still don't understand what it means by this, because I'm wondering how it's worked this out, because this armor doesn't link into this. It must be something to do with the body glove, but still interesting that, interesting ways of phrasing things. Anyway, we'll move on with the story. Oh, you already have a medikit? Well, here, have another one. You also have a mesh chest plate. So we can see here that a character wearing this armor will dodge 23% of... Or the character wearing this armor will dodge 20% of the average enemy attacks. Is this maybe the armor type? Let me chuck this over to him, actually, and we'll have a little look. Actually, I think this is a shared inventory, isn't it? Yeah. So that's 39% there. So it might be armor type, potentially. What we need to do to confirm is find another piece of medium armor. Although you can see he has a dodge penalty of 0.75. Is 23% 0.75 of 39%? I don't know. It could be. I think it might. It's close enough. Okay, cool. Anyway, back in here. Not enough trying to do maths live. Let's get you to heal me. Oh, we now have new things. Yes, I already know. I just did that. Right. So, single shot. Hits one person here, and then dead-eye shot. 50% bonus to the effective range of a weapon with a plus 10 hit chance. Nice. Right, Abelard.
I am at your service.
You also have some stuff. So strike hits with the weapon, but you also have cleave, which is kind of a slashing one, which we saw him using in the previous combat. What else does he have? Brace for impact. For 1 round, the Navy officer and their allies in a 3-cell radius gain +2 deflection for each archetype taken by the Navy officer. They also cannot be forcefully moved or over-penetrated. And then charges you forward. Does not count towards the limit of the warrior's attacks per turn. There must be at least 2 free cells between the warrior and the target to use charge. Awesome. I would like you to use this medikit on
Let's
Malachi.
patch you up. That is a noticeable improvement. Now you're prepared for the trials ahead. The lower decks are teeming with heretics, instigating the rabble to revolt. But that is the least of our problems. The ship's enforcers are rounding up the scoundrels and suppressing the resistance. The situation on the middle decks is much worse, although strike teams have already been dispatched there. All communication with the bridge and the engineering bay was lost. So, apart from scattered voxcasts, we have no information to go on. But that is not the worst of it all. All these jolts and shaking are most alarming. These are signs that the navigator and the master helmsman are having difficulty translating the ship out of the warp and into real space. I fear that they may have already lost control. We must reach the navigator's sanctum and get a handle on the situation. If we can manage that, some aboard this vessel may yet survive.
So, Navigator, a sanctioned noble mutant whose genes allow them to safely guide a warp-capable void ship through the warp. What exactly has gone wrong with the translation?
I am no helmsman. Oh, God Emperor preserve me, Navigator. However, I've spent my entire life aboard void ships equipped with warp drives, and I know that portents such as these do not bode well. It could be that the Geller field has faltered. Perhaps the Navigator was struck down by warp corruption and is fighting for the last shreds of his humanity as we speak. If we get thrown off course, we will be forever lost in the warp. Naturally, we would likely not have long to live in that scenario. But I will not resign myself to such an outcome just yet.
Okay, how did you find me?
You sent me a Vox message. Specifically, a Voxcast on the officer's frequency, which I had the good fortune to receive. You mean to say you did no such thing?
I think the warrant sentinel may have sent that message. It appeared when I opened the chamber.
Warrant Sentinel? The Lord Captain barely ever ventures down to the chamber, and I was at her side only once or twice when she did. And I did not see anything of the sort. The Warrant Chamber is an ancient and rather sacred mechanism that the ship's tech priests treat with the utmost reverence. I assume that whatever it is that you did, you must have activated certain processes and caused the Sentinel to awaken. But then, why did none of it happen when Lady Theodora did the same?
He frowns. Tech priests. The rulers of the Adeptus Mechanicus, they revere technology as the object of their devotion. They direct the endeavours of fabrication and lead the followers of the machine god in unforgiving crusades of ruthless acquisition. I heard one of Theodora's Voxcasts.
Lady Theodorus. Which one? The last one I received was about the Navigator's Sanctum, and that was a good while ago. In any case, let us hope that the Lord Captain is well, and safely in charge of the ship's defense. In the meantime, we must do all we can to prevent the ship from veering off course.
What can we expect to find in the Navigator's Sanctum?
During warp transit, the Sanctum is closed to all who are not involved in traversing the Imperium. And for good reason. For the Navigator to open their third eye and perceive the way, the Sanctum must be bathed in the energies of the Immaterium. Only a Navigator can withstand such an ordeal. For the rest of us, any contact with the warp is fraught with perils such as loss of sanity, spontaneous mutations, and death.
Abelard does not bat an eye as he lists all the horrors that you are about to face. Okay, the Navigator's Sanctum. Very well, we lead the way. Again, we're not going to say something like this. I think I said this in the first episode. We're not going to say something like, you know, I'm under no obligation to take such risks or any such thing. We want to put on an air of, you know, competence. So, we're going to do this. We're also not going to be for the Imperium and humanity. We're not quite, you know, like that. I think we'll just say, lead the way. Pragmatic.
Absolutely. Let us proceed.
A wave of static suddenly erupts from the servo skull, and you can make out Theodora's words through the noise. To arms, loyal sons and daughters of the God Emperor. Fight the heresy and corruption that threatens to consume our home, and with all your might destroy those who have dared.
The Lord Captain is calling her crew to battle, which means the Vox networks are set up for broadcast transmission, not message exchange. Splendid. While the rogue trader inspires proper resolve to fight in her subjects, you and I shall prove that her trust in us is well deserved. Onward!
The Seneschal's eyes light up, and he smiles with grim determination. Oh, hello. You must be heretics.
Mercy to those who oppose Von Valancius.
Tactical phase.
None of them!
Combat begins with the tactical phase, during which characters cannot attack or take actions, but may take up advantageous positions. Select a character by clicking on them, then click on the cell you want to move to. Red cells are inaccessible to the character. During the tactical phase, each character in the party may move up to their maximum movement points, but cannot position themselves adjacent to an enemy. Press space to start the battle. I do also get to see the initiative, it looks like, first. Okay, so I may want to charge in and attack some people, potentially. Depends how I want to handle this. I'm thinking that I could potentially charge... something like charge in and attack there and take out a couple. Let's see if anyone has an obvious weapon on them. You all look like you have melee weapon. You have a ranged weapon. Maybe we want to take out the ranged weapons first? I don't know. I do think charging in then attacking one to the side makes sense. Maybe try and take out that 16 health one at the back. Yeah, so if I'm going to do that, I kind of want to start my turn here. Okay. And then we kind of want to find cover, not that there is any. So I guess we kind of want to just be at an edge. I think that would make sense. Oh, there's our buff. Okay, we were looking for that last time. Cool. Also, he failed his Medicaid test, so we still have the injury. Okay. Abelard's abilities. Your new companion is a warrior. He has charge. Yes, we've already looked at this. That's fine. Melee attacks need you to be adjacent. Unlike single shots, melee attacks hit automatically with no need to roll. The enemy will try to dodge and parry the attack if they're using a melee weapon of their own. So what's the difference? So dodge is negating damage from melee and ranged attacks. If the character is attacked, will automatically try to dodge the attack no matter the weapon. Base dodge chance is 30 plus target's agility plus attacker's perception. This chance can also be affected by abilities and effects that influence dodge chance and will depend on the attacker's dodge reduction. Base value of the stats is the sum of the attacker's perception and half of their agility score. When dodging an area attack made by a ranged weapon, the character may only move up to 3 cells in order to leave the affected area. Only in this case can a dodge be successful. If for some reason the character is unable to leave the affected area, they'll automatically take grazing hit damage. Which I think is a reduced damage amount. It doesn't actually say, but could I see here? That's too much. Alright, that's something else. Parry. Okay, when attacked by an enemy with a melee attack, a character will automatically try to both dodge and parry the attack. The higher the attacker's weapon skill characteristic score is, the higher the chance is that the attack will not be parried and the target will suffer damage. Similarly, the higher the attacker's perception and agility are, the easier it is for them to damage the target in spite of their attempts to dodge. The parry chance is equal to 20 plus target's weapon skill plus parry bonuses minus the attacker's weapon skill plus parry reduction percentage plus any potential bonuses from melee superiority, which is, I think, surrounding people. Yes, surrounding people. The chance to dodge a melee attack is equal to 30 plus target's agility plus attacker's perception minus attacker's agility divided by 2 percentage. Okay, that's quite a lot. That's fine. We already know what we're doing. There's a whole bunch of stuff in there, but essentially we're charging. Nice. We could try and kill here. Attack of opportunity. Characters with melee weapons can make attacks of opportunity if an opponent in an adjacent cell initiates movement. It also can also be triggered by some abilities. All characters with melee weapons, including members of your own party, can make attacks of opportunity. The chance to hit and deal damages are calculated just like a normal attack. You know what? That's a good point. This guy has a melee weapon on him. What I think we're going to do is we're going to strike at this one. Because we can kill them. And then if this guy tries to run, we get the attack of opportunity and kill him. Wonderful. Right. End turn. So they're running at us. Nice parry. Oh, we got hit for 0. Because we got a reduction, I think. Companions can get hit by your burst or area attacks. Okay. Combat abilities of characters differ depending on their archetype. Available abilities are located at the bottom right of the screen on the abilities panel. To read full description of the ability, hover over it. Okay, cool. I think we're fine with that. Now, oh, we got a little thing on each of their heads. What was that there? Would love to see what that is. Can I can right click on you. There we go. Exploit. So that's from us. At the start of each turn, we inflict 1 stack of exploit on all enemies within the operative's line of sight. If the operative hits a target with an exploit stack, the attack deals plus 5 times perception bonus % more damage. The damage is also increased by 10% for each exploit on the target. The attack removes all exploits. Cool. I just wanted to have a look at Abelard as well for a second here. Can I do that? I can. What does your armor give you? So does it give you any... It doesn't give you any damage reduction, but they still did 0. Well, it might be because of parry or something like that. I'm not sure. Although it didn't say it parried the second one, but you have taken 0 damage. So, what do I know? Anyway, maybe it rounded down to 0 or something. So what's our chance of hitting? So 88, 88, 88. So anybody I want to specifically kill here? Who's got a turn after? So you've got a turn after and you've got a turn after. So getting this guy would actually be pretty good. So let's maybe just do a shot in here.
I'll see to it, but you never stood a chance.
Dead. Wonderful. And then I'm kind of out of things to do right now, which is fine. Although what I could do is surefire plan. And then... Oh, do I not have any move because I've already shot? Yeah, okay. See, I was thinking I could surefire plan and move, which would then give me 14% dodge and parry. What I can do is I could surefire plan analyze enemies onto this guy, which will then reduce his damage by 14%.
It's as good as done.
Right? Because that's a non-damaging ability on an enemy. So that should have worked. Cool. I don't see a debuff on you, but I'm assuming that worked. So, that's fine. Or is that still saying it? Maybe that doesn't count as a non-damaging ability on an enemy. Maybe analyze enemies isn't on. Maybe it's just about an enemy. Anyway, whatever.
Die! Die! Die!
You took 1 damage. You know what I should have done in here? What I should have done is have a look at the damage that did 0 previously. So that was us shooting. So why did you deal 0? Ooh, this is much better than it used to be. So let's have a look at this. This is greatly improved from the beta. So, total hit chance was 63. Okay, so you hit. Triggered auto hit due to melee attack. Alright. Didn't dodge because 58 was rolled and a 21 was needed to dodge. Didn't parry because 91 was rolled and 20 was needed to dodge. Critical hit 84, so it didn't critical hit because that was higher than 20%. Okay, so that's all fine. Damage, oh, damage is between 0 and 2. They just rolled a 0. Wait, base damage is between -1 and 1. Okay. So damage, they rolled a 0. So damage was a 0 because their base damage is between -1 and 1 because their base was 6 to 9. But they have -7 minimum damage, -8 max damage. Ah, I see. So because they had these modifiers on for whatever reason, they were rolling between -1 and 1. They then had a +2 to damage as a modifier, which equals 1. Okay. And then, because of our armor, it lowered it to lower than 1, which equals 0. So it must round down, I think? Yes, that must round down. So we had a base armor of 100. Armor lowered it by 25%. Armor penetration raised it by 5. It still came out as 0.8 overall, because it's 1 times by 0.8. So it came out as 0.8, which is 0. So it did 0 damage. I see. So really the answer is whatever was causing them to have these huge negatives is why they did 0 damage. And this is probably because it's a tutorial fight and they don't want you to get destroyed. That's why it's 0 damage. Okay, I understand. I mean, this is an obvious cleave on this side. Like, maybe the most obvious of cleaves. Yeah. And then we're done there. We did miss, but that's okay. Right, I think we're happy with that. End turn. They get to attack us. We parry. Next one. And honestly, I think we just shoot one of these guys. So, you have a turn coming up. Let's shoot you. We might as well use the one that uses more AP because we're not using AP for anything else. And that gives us an extra 10% to hit. Okay, cool.
I took care of this
Hey, we finally got our yeah, we got our attack of opportunity. And now you can attack here.
Indeed.
Parried. Okay, sure. Dodged. Well, I feel bad kind of breaking into their fight, but shoot them.
Your end was inevitable.
Nice. Experience points. You can advance the level of your character and companions. Prevailing in battles, exploring the Koronus Expanse, and completing quests earns you experience points. Once you've accumulated enough experience, your character gains a new level. You know what? I think I probably know how to do this. Oh, and we just leveled up. Wonderful. Any loot? Loot! Fantastic. Collecting loot. Defeated enemies have no further need for their former belongings, but you can discover valuable trophies among them. Click the left mouse button on a defeated enemy to inspect what is left of them. Items on the right hand side of the trophy collection window go to your inventory. Such items can be used or equipped by your characters. Items on the left are packed up as cargo and sent to your ship, which can later be used to trade with various factions. You can move trophies from one side of the window to the other by clicking. Alternatively, you can use the buttons at the bottom. Okay, cool. So this is kind of like a this is a thing that makes this a kind of interesting, is that you can basically just put all your junk in cargo and sell it as like a bulk sell, rather than have it be as you would normally do in an RPG. You pile up all the weapons, you go to one shop and you say, all right, here's a sword, here's a sword, here's a sword, and get your gold for that. Like, this is slightly different. We want a sword because we want to go yeah, we want to go doing that at some point. I might just move everything to cargo to start with. Let's move the las pistol and the sword over here. Everything else I think can go. Yeah, collect all. So now we have cargo. So we have a 50% filled melee weapon cargo. Okay. Selling full cargo to merchants improves your reputation with their faction. However, all loot inside that cargo will be lost forever. You may also withdraw loot from cargo at any time. Oh, cool. Awesome. I think we're happy with that. Let's go in here. So is a las pistol any better for us? I don't think it is. I just thought we should have it because it's different. Does lower their dodge reduction. I think we're okay with that. The sword, however, is something that we definitely want. Yeah, let's get ourselves a little sword going here. We're not great with melee weapons currently, but we're going to get better. So we want to start, thinking about using one. Our weapon skill is better than our ballistic skill, so at some point we want to switch over. Cool. I think it's time for us to level up, which is a new experience for me. Okay. Last time I did level ups was in the beta, and it was a little bit buggy because we basically had, there was a bunch of stuff where it just said, come back later, it's not done yet. So, let's see what our options are here. Click to view archetype details. So, we have 2 new ranks available. So what does that mean for us here? I'm trying to figure out what we're doing with this level up. You know what I'm going to do first, actually, just to make sure we don't mess anything up. Let's do a save, and then we'll have a look in here. It's been a very numbers-heavy one, so I apologize that we're about to spend some more time reading a lot of these, but it is important that we get these level ups right because, in theory, we're playing these characters for a long time. So, immediately, I'm assuming that are these the only things I can choose? I can only really choose from here? Okay, that's fine. So I just choose something? Is that what I'm getting at? Yeah, so these appear to have a lot in them, and there's nothing I can do here. So 1 rank's available. Total number of upgrades available from all new ranks. Okay. So I just get to choose whether I want logic or tech use. I probably want logic, right? We got 45 logic. We can push that up to 50. 5? Yeah, that seems good. That seems very good. Yeah, I think we're happy with that. Let's do that. To summary. New rank, we got logic. Wonderful. I think that seems good to me. We have done it. We have leveled up. Okay, and the next rank we get this and it moves around the circle and we just choose one from each every time we get there. I think I understand how this works now. Okay, cool. So, warrior. Warriors are combatants boasting exceptional melee prowess, capable of dealing high damage in close quarters combat and withstanding heavy amounts of damage. They also excel in drawing enemies' attention from less defended allies. Core focus, melee, movement and dodge, armor and parry, taunt, soaking damage. Awesome. So, you also just get skills at this level. So, the question is, what do we want you to get? So, you got a 50 in Carouse. Carouse is actually one of our skills, which is really bad. Might be good to get Abelard a little bit in there. We can coerce. Currently have no one who does demolition. Medicae, he's currently also the only person we know about who does Medicae. However, it's an intelligence-based one. His intelligence stat is not insane. I think we want to go into the things he's good at. So I'm thinking either athletics to focus on his strength or carouse to focus on his toughness. Given our carouse is awful, let's improve his carouse as we can use it in combat. Not in combat, in conversation. That's the word I was looking for. So let's do that. That was actually not as painful as I thought it was going to be. Right. Can we read his biography and stuff? Oh, not really, but you can kind of see what he's got going on here. He's got a little bit of iconoclast. What does that mean? 1 conviction branches reaches victory 3. Votary becomes the character's main focus. When that happens, the other 2 conviction branches cannot be raised above rank 2 adherent. Belief in the value of human life and freedom. Faith in the power of goodwill. Capable of overcoming the horrors and dangers of the universe without need for artificial prohibitions. The desire to seek out common ground and compromise rather than uncompromising destruction. Okay, so that's kind of what he's going down, I guess. And if he reaches level 3, then then neither of these could be raised. So if we want him to be a heretic, we'd need to do that and lower and not put anything else into here, I guess. I think I understand. And he's not Okay, I understand. So this is Puritan versus Fanatic. I think I get where we're at here. He's closer to Fanatic, but really he's just kind of neutral. Okay, I think I get this. Can I see ours here? Ah, and this is where we line up with everything. And again, we could go down one of 3 paths. I imagine we're probably going to end up somewhere similar. Yeah, because we're not really believing in the holiness and infallibility of the laws of the Imperium. I mean, like, if I go back here, we did take the origin of crime lords, so that doesn't really seem like us. Heretical, devotion to the corruption and taint of the warp through total submission to the basest and darkest impulses of the soul. I also don't know if that's the path we're taking, so I would imagine we're going to fall here, probably, but I don't know. We'll have to see. Choice by choice basis. It's just that heresy tends to be kind of like, I'm on the side of good, I'm on the side of evil, I'm on the side of just being normal, right? And good and evil are both so extreme that normal is just like, okay, that's fine. We'll just take that. At least it's not just the good or evil. I think it was there was someone who described it in some of the old games, where something like a Bioware game or an Infamous game where it had like a morality system. It was like good versus evil. Good is I help people. Evil is I kick puppies, right? You know, one of them was just like, I'm kind of an alright person. The other one was, I'm just being mean for being mean's sake. You know? Having 3, I think, probably balances it a little bit. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it plays out. Anyway, I'm just rambling at this point because it is time for us to end the episode. Thank you very much for watching. Next time, we're going to be heading out and seeing whether we can get to Theodora or the Navigator, or really just anywhere away from these flaming bodies. So, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.